Yesterday, news broke that top administration officials used a group text chain to discuss secret war plans in Yemen and accidentally added the Atlantic journalist, my cousin Jeffrey Goldberg, to the chat. Now, here's how this situation evolved. Take a look.
And added to a group of seemingly very, very high national security officials of the United States. I think that this is a spoof. I had actually mistakenly been included in a conversation of the Principals Committee, essentially the leaders of the national security community, including the head of the CIA, in this discussion of whether the Houthis should be attacked in Yemen.
I don't know anything about it. It couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective. I can tell you that. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time.
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
He can say that it wasn't a war plan, but it was a minute-by-minute accounting of what was about to happen.
You mean like a plan?
Apparently, lots of Republicans are downplaying this. But you remember, back in the day, they had a much different response when they accused Hillary Clinton of a security breach. Take a look.
You most certainly know you shouldn't be talking about it or passing it on in an emails. It's complete recklessness and incompetence.
People have gone to jail for 1/100th of what, even 1/1000th of what Hillary Clinton did.
Mishandling classified information is still a violation of the Espionage Act.
In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.
Sir, the question is he going to make good on this promise?
Oh, yeah.
What should happen here? Should we be saying lock them up? Well, how does it...
You know what I mean? I'd like to answer on the legal piece.
Yeah.
I would like to answer on the legal piece because they may have violated several provisions of the Espionage Act, which governs the handling of national defense information. And so what happened here, apparently, in my view, ran afoul of both laws that require the retention of records and, more importantly, laws related to classified information. A security breach this significant requires a thorough investigation. People can go to jail for something like this. There are several consequences to it. And when he's saying nothing to see here, it probably didn't even happen, what I will say is just 2 hours after Goldberg received the details of the attack on March 15th, the U.S. began launching a series of airstrikes against targets in Yemen. So not only is this accurate, the reporter has the receipts, and the reporter, although having the receipts, didn't even write the details down in the Atlantic, which means he handled the national security information more appropriately than the people that are tasked with this, information.
That's my cousin.
My cousin did the right thing.
Yes, he did.
Well, credit to Goldberg for not responding with, like, the facepalm emoji. That was the first thing I was thinking. And the fact that he didn't think it was real. He thought it was disinformation or something to trick him. Let me tell you how this is supposed to work. So when I was in the Pentagon, I was involved with planning leading up to airstrikes a number of times. Now, what happens is either all the senior leaders gather in the White House situation room. Yes. Soleimani strike Baghdadi. Every time every time.
She was in on war plans. I never heard that before.
Yes, and so what would usually happen is that all the senior leaders would gather in the White House Situation Room, or like we saw in the bin Laden raid, the famous Obama photo, or the respective leaders would be in the State Department SCIF, at the Pentagon, they call it the tank, and everyone would be in a classified, secure location. No one would have a personal cell phone. You wouldn't even have your government device with you, and you'd be video conferencing with the other people that you're with. And in the off chance you're not near the Pentagon or the State Department, every one of these leaders has what's called a SCIF in their home. They have the ability at any time, because that's what national security entails, to be able to do this legally and safely. An encrypted messaging app is not secure. It is not where you can legally share classified information. And by the way, when you are this senior of a leader, you are told to expect that foreign adversaries are monitoring all of your communications. I'd remind people, Tulsi Gabbard was allegedly on this text thread, who we know has at times espoused Kremlin propaganda. And finally, my last piece of advice. If you are going to start a text chain with national security secrets, don't name it what you're doing. They called it the Houthi PC small group. That'd be like if they put on Obama's calendar, like Osama bin Laden raid at 12 o'clock. Yeah. It's nuts. Like, it makes no sense.
Well, and Tulsi Gabbard wrote or tweeted on March 14th, quote, "Any unauthorized release of classified information is a violation of the law and will be treated as such." But I was just watching her in a CNN hearing, and on CNN in the hearing, and she was saying that she couldn't comment. So I'm guessing those words might be haunting her earlier than she thought. But do I think anything will happen as a result? I don't. Because we have watched the way Donald Trump handles classified information for years. He was indicted on charges. In 2017, he disclosed classified information to Russian government representatives. He's kicked translators out of rooms. In 2019, he tweeted classified satellite imagery of an Iranian site revealing highly sensitive U.S. Information. He hasn't cared, and I think some of that comes from a lot of people that understand the consequences of this have served in the military, which is why this is really rich, because about 4 of these people were military. They were public service military people that know what can happen in this. But Donald Trump's never served in the military. He's never dealt with consequences. So he doesn't understand that this stuff can put not only our lives at danger, but our national security. And for an administration that rode on the message of national intelligence, it is also rich that we are watching this play out. And I don't think anything's going to happen.
Well, I will say this. I want people to stop pretending. When you see it, you've got the information they are giving it. Stop saying it didn't happen, because we're not dumb. We're not dumb. You know, for me, that's the most annoying part. It's like, stop talking to people like we don't know what's happening. Our families are going through stuff. You're putting our people through stuff. We see what you're doing, but don't come and lie when my cousin has all the information. He shows it to you, and he does not do what y'all would do, which is put stuff out.